Vacation home? What do we look like? The Jeffersons?
If you're hearing our voices, that means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer and credits, scene by scene, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared. And we're talking vacation homes.
Talking vacation homes.
Part two.
A
very special episode.
While we're in a vacation home.
That's right.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Vacation homes. Out here in the Berkshires.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're back with part two of our breakdown of The Outlaws 2023 Netflix flick. Adam Devine, Pierce Brosnan, Alan Barkin.
Yep.
Nina what's her name?
Dobrev.
Dobrev.
Yep.
I was going to say Nina Dobrova. It's not. Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, close enough. Just Canadian.
Oh, Jesus. Via Russia, right?
It's a melting pot.
Yeah, Canadian via Russia?
That's right.
Okay. Siberia. Oh, hey-o.
Hey-o. Good plug for episodes previous.
Keanu Reeves.
Go listen.
Chianti Reeves. Yeah, go check it out. All right, so we're back. Where did we leave off? We left off with the parents meeting the parents.
The lunch, yeah.
Meet the parents.
Lunch from the trailer, basically.
Right.
Dan Marino, orgies, the whole works.
Hilarious. Hilarity.
Super funny.
And we're just about halfway through?
Not quite.
Not quite.
Close
we're
enough.
pretty close. I'll say right now, up to this point, movie's still enjoyable. I'm still laughing.
Yeah.
I'm laughing at bits.
The whole way through.
So,
Fascinating.
I don't know. 20%.
Critics. Idiots.
Critics, right?
Come at us in the comments,
Yeah,
critics.
yeah. We're going to call you out by name, by the way.
Get in the comments.
Get in the comments. All right, so then we head back home to
Yep.
Parker and Owen's home, right?
Yep.
And Parker's like, oh, I think you're acting a little weird, right? And he confesses that he thinks that her parents robbed his bank.
Yep, exactly.
And she's not buying it, basically. She's
Yep.
like, no, come on. This isn't. You're being weird. Stop being weird, right?
Yep. There's a whole... I know we're trying not to do too much of it because listeners, you should go watch it. But I love like the Parker's like, you seem upset about something. He's like, I don't know, just the fact that Dan Marino fucked my mom, because it's the joke that keeps on giving.
Is this also the whole? Is this when he's in the closet and he's like,
Yes.
he's, like the back hair thing that comes up too?
He's like, do you think I'm actually my dad's kid?
It's really tough. Like, you see the beady eyes?
Am I related to Dan Marino?
It's tough because like there's a lot of little jokes that they do set up and like kind of pay off a bit later. But
Exactly.
it's tough to like describe those because it's like, but it's good. I don't know. Some of them are pretty good.
Yep.
All right, then we're in a quick car ride, right? And
Sorry, she's but just to be clear, she's incredulous about them being bank robbers. She's like, that's ridiculous.
Yes.
What a crazy thing.
Not
to say.
buying it. She's not buying it.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then we cut to the parents take his car, his Dodge Charger there, right? Yeah. Or no, I'm sorry. They take his
I believe it's called Pussy Wagon at some point.
So they're driving to go somewhere to meet someone, and he's going to follow them. So he gets in his red Charger, which, by the way, if you want to follow someone, red Charger is not the one.
Great at following stealthily. Obviously, Billy notices immediately in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
And then, like, takes a quick, sharp turn, tries to lose Owen, and they kind of do.
Yeah.
He basically has an accident.
Yeah. He's trapped in the intersection, whatever.
Yeah. And they go on their way.
But he still finds him. So we
thanks to OnStar.
Yeah.
This episode brought to you by OnStar.
So we pull up to a mansion, classic villain mansion, right? Mm-hmm. Out there in Philadelphia.
Yep. Yes, yeah. Down the street from
the New England town, that nice, quaint little New England looking town.
Now that I'm thinking about it, when I was complaining earlier about how in part one that they like, why does the villain live down the street from? Like this all seems very too convenient.
Oh yeah.
But then they do kind of try to explain it away at one point. I forgot that they were like, oh, she's got houses everywhere. Come on.
All right. Okay. All right. Come on. So we get pulled up to the mansion, right? And this is where we learn how Parker's parents know the villain lady here, right?
Yep, exactly.
Natasha or Rehan.
Yeah, they betrayed her.
Yeah, they were partners at one time. She would pick the banks, basically. This is explained a little bit later on, this exact thing, but Owen's trying to sneak in, spy on him, whatever. Mm-hmm. Kind of some funny moments with the dogs. The little dog that comes right behind him, he just turns and boots the thing across them.
It's super funny.
It's pretty funny. And then so they drop off. So the parents drop off the money they stole, which was just under $1 million, right?
Yep.
And
probably because they had to buy the Dodge Charger.
Yeah, right. And then we learned that they had done a job for her, and that she's like, "Yeah, well, you owe me another $5 million." And they're like, "Yeah, but we didn't
like, we stole $1 million from you. How do we owe 5 more? And when they started running, so did the Vig.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. So
nice, good gangster words.
Yeah.
Vig.
Vig.
Yeah, I totally understand.
Yep. Someone Googled something.
Yeah.
And then we intercut with Owen getting chased by like a pack of dogs and stuff like this. He's climb up a tree, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, she also importantly in that part acknowledges that they have a daughter.
Yep.
And like she knows where she lives, and she knows that they have a wedding this weekend, and that's the deadline. Like, give me that money before the wedding.
Yep. So you got a week, right? Mm-hmm. Or she's like, I'll just kill Parker.
Well, Parker's going to marry the Grim Reaper.
Yes. You know what I mean. I'm going to kill her. Yeah, we know what you mean.
Yeah.
Number 2, we're into a car ride, right? And we got Owen in his car, and he gets pulled over by Michael Rooker's character there, Agent Roger.
Yeah, who is like shit-faced basically half the movie.
Yeah,
like which much. They like. I don't think they play it enough.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
To like make jokes like this, because like he walks up and he's like, "License and masturbation, please."
It's like, yeah. It feels like a lot was on the cutting room floor.
Yeah,
because like they could have. There probably was some funny bits, but they probably just chopped it just to tighten it up. But.
Yeah, it's like, you look like shit. That's coming from the guy who uses his sock as a coffee filter. Which is disgusting.
So then he takes him to like a police station or whatever, right?
Yep.
And basically he's like interrogating him. And he's like, yeah, well, we pulled all these supplies from your trunk. And it's like all the stuff that they used for the bank robbery, right?
Exactly. It's got ammunition. It's got voice modulators from the crime, all kinds of stuff.
And then this is where we learn that Rooker's character, Agent Roger here, has been chasing the Ghost Bandits for a very long time. He's kind of obsessed, and it's kind of like ruined his life, ruined his marriage, right?
Yeah, lost his wife.
And his sanity, right?
Yep.
Which comes back later.
Yep, Cheryl.
And then Owen just basically straight up confesses, and he's just like, we get a plot recap here, basically, right?
Yeah. It was my in-laws.
Yeah.
He's like, oh.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. That was easy.
And he's like, all right, I need you to wear a wire and get them to, confess or say something that we can, go in on them, right?
Yep. And he agrees.
So this is I think this is actually like the halfway point of the movie.
Yeah.
And then we cut back to home, right? Mm-hmm. He shows up and they're like having this whole conversation about going to see the new baker they had to hire, right?
Yep.
And Billy and Lily are like, oh, we'll go with you. And he's like, no, you don't have to go. You don't have to. No.
Yeah. They're all vegan desserts apparently, which I didn't understand. I was like, is Parker vegan, or is it because it's a last minute cake and they need? I
wasn't sure either.
Right.
Yeah.
But apparently vegan desserts taste like shit. So.
Yeah. And he says that. And it's pretty funny. There's like some funny back and forth banter here, but it's like, yeah, okay. And then they leave.
Well, and Roger's like sitting 20 feet away from the car, like which is ridiculous. Like in the driveway, like Billy looks at him basically, right? Like, yeah. It's like, you're the worst cop of all time. And so he follows them.
Yep. So we show up to the baker, the vegan baker, right?
Yeah, which I love. It's Jackie Sandler. So it's Adam Sandler's wife is one of them. Is
the sister?
Yeah, she's the diva, and the other one's the vegan. And I love her too. I can't remember where she's from, but she's in all kinds of stuff.
The one who plays the
vegan.
Yeah. She was pretty funty. I mean, she didn't do much, but it was like the whole bit was pretty funny.
Last name's Sidaro, I think.
Mm. Yeah, then the villain lady, like, so they're kind of having this back and forth, right? And then it's just like the villain lady here, Rehan, she just shows up, right?
Exactly.
And takes
from the trailer.
All from the trailer. She takes Parker hostage. And Owen offers. Owen, why am I doing this? Why am I doing it right now?
Yeah. I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know what's happening. Coffee much? Owen offers himself. He's like, take me instead of, her, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. And the mom Lily notices, like, oh, he'll seems like he'll do anything to, like,
She starts coming around.
He cares, right? Mm-hmm. And then Rooker, he shows up. Roger Dodger there, the FBI agent, right?
Yep.
Well, he's always there, but he's got a gun. And then this just kicks into, like, some action sequence stuff, right?
Yep, exactly. It's that John Wick fight I was talking about in part 1.
But with cake.
Yeah, but with cake.
John Wick cake.
Which the diva gets shot.
Yes. But doesn't she put like frosting? Like it was a weird little thing. She like puts like red frosting on her neck and just like collapses. I'm like, wait, what? What is this? I don't know. And like Adam Devine's like, there's like a cake. He's like, there's a gun on the floor, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go save her. And he grabs a gun. He's like, he just bites into it. He's like, wait a second, it's a fake gun.
Which, in the trailer trash we were talking about, is a cake.
Yeah, is it cake? That's right, it's a cake.
Even the gun's cake.
So he's like kind of watching this whole thing go down. Cake's flying everywhere. There's bullets flying everywhere. And the parents start kicking ass of Rehan's henchman there, right?
Yep.
She takes the Parker away. They sneak out the back door, hop in a car, right?
Yep.
And this is all from the trailer too. And then like it kind of settles down. And then he comes running out and throws like the pole or whatever. And it's like, okay,
exactly.
Kind of funny. And then Rooker's like, oh, I got you guys.
Yeah, you're under arrest.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we got stuff to do.
Yeah, we got stuff to do. Pierce Brosnan just like tosses him, or yeah.
Yeah, and Owen's like, you're supposed to protect her. That's why people don't trust the government. And then he crawls in the window of the Charger and drives away to lead us to the next scene from the trailer in the forest.
Yep, out in the woods somewhere random. And this is where we get a bunch of exposition about how they know the villain lady there, Rehan.
Yep.
Natasha there.
Exactly.
They were partners. She would pick the banks. They would go rob them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you need someone to pick the banks. Yeah, maybe she's. she was cleaning the money. That's what it was, right?
Yeah.
So she would pick the banks. They would rob them, and then she would clean the money, and that was their partnership. So, and then basically a little Owen calling them out for being like terrible parents. Like, yeah, you put her in this situation. Like, you're the ones who like that. Why she's like a hostage right now. Blah, blah, blah.
And more of Lily coming around on Owen too is she didn't know that Billy set him up to be framed.
Yes.
Put the stuff in the trunk.
Yeah. And then he's like, well, you need $5 million, whatever. He's like, what you need is a bank manager who knows how all this stuff works. So
from the trailer.
They team up to
I can't believe this is halfway through the movie. I forgot.
Yeah. I know, right?
I guess it was a little long at times, but
yeah, it was like
the second half dragged a little bit.
Yeah, it did a little bit. Like the first, definitely the first half had like a lot of funny stuff to it.
Yeah.
And then it kind of drags in the middle a little bit. But that's a lot of movies. A lot of things drag in the middle.
Exactly.
So we cut back to the house, and we got Rooker, Agent Roger there interviewing Owen's parents, right?
Yep.
And this is where the vacation home line comes.
And
is there any vacation
drink
home
during the day?
They would sneak to? He's like, vacation home? What do we look like?
The Jeffersons.
What?
Yeah. That's great. And they're talking about the daughter being a stripper again, kind of. It's like, she's a yoga instructor. You connect the dots.
It's like just Richard Kind, just let him run.
Yep.
And then we get to a motel, and we got the classic heist planning-ish montage-y thing, right?
Yep.
You always have to have these in a heist movie, right?
Yep.
And they're not going to rob Atlas.
That's the good bank, run by Lauren Lapkus.
Yep. Who's like the security is all over the top, right?
Yep.
And they cut back and forth between showing you like, oh, the bank, and then cutting back to them in the thing, whatever. I love how he's going through all this, and then they pan down. He's got like this scale model of like the bank, and they're like, "Wow, when did you get time to make this?" He's like, I made 12, but only 2 were
presentable.
Yeah, it's like most of it I had in my pockets.
Yep.
But so then he's like, "Well, we're not going to do Atlas because that's too secure. But what we're going to do is this other bank
run by Mayhem."
Yep. Fucking hilarious. It's too funny. He's like, yeah, we're going to go rob that one because he's an idiot, basically.
Yeah, that guy's so stupid. He lost his right testicle because he sat on his nuts too hard.
And then cut to it, him just like,
It was pretty funny. I guess we are the target audience for this movie.
Yeah, we definitely are. Looking stupid.
Yeah. Like the listeners are listening right now being like, oh, he sat on his nuts. I get why this is 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. And we're like, Dad, he sat on his nuts.
It should be at least 50%. And then we get the James Bond trailer joke from the trailer, right?
Yep.
Which was kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut to the bank, right?
Yep. And Owen walks in dressed as Shrek.
This whole sequence is so ridiculous.
Yep.
So they're robbing a bank. Owen comes in. He's dressed as Shrek, right? And then Lily, she's got costumed up. She gets in. The plan was to rob the armored car, I think, right? Because like he had outlined like when they do pickups and drop-offs, and the idea was that because the armored cars go to multiple banks, they're like, oh, we're basically robbing 3 banks at one time.
Exactly.
So that's the whole setup here. So they're waiting for the driver to come out. She takes, or the pickup guy, right? Because you always have armored vehicles. You got the guy who's driving, and you got the guy who goes in and picks up the bags and comes out.
Yep.
So she takes up the guy who's picking up the bags, and Owen was basically a distraction inside the bank, right?
Yep, exactly.
And we cut back outside, and Lily is now wearing the uniform of the other guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she starts loading the money, but also like dishing it off to Billy.
Yep.
And he's coming by. They got a van. And he's like picking up the bags and dropping them off. The guy who's driving the truck is not on his phone, scrolling through.
Classic
move, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the setup, and then gunfight kind of breaks out because the guy in the driver
truck guy finally notices.
He notices, right?
Because the other guy comes too and comes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he comes out of the vault into the bank, whatever. And then because Owen's getting his ass kicked by some customer who's just like, nah.
Who does kind of look like Jason Momoa's character from Moana, which is how Owen describes him at one point, and like that's pretty dead on.
Not wrong.
Yeah, which is funny because that while he's fighting Owen, he has a massive heart attack and like falls on top of him, and Owen revives him.
Stops to give him CPR.
Yep.
And then basically the whole thing, develops. We got a gunfight going on outside.
Yep.
Owen saves this guy. He comes out. We got a standoff. Owen comes in behind him with a gun.
But it's a water gun.
It's a water gun, which comes back later because he sees the water dripping, whatever. And he's like, oh, no, come on, let's go. Let's get this thing done.
Yep.
One of the armored truck guys notices it. Owen steals the armored truck.
Right, because their getaway vehicle gets like destroyed also.
Yeah, so he steals the armored truck, backs it up, grabs them. They got all the money inside the truck, right? Yep. And this leads to like the big action sequence, so the big
chase.
The big Blues Brothers car chase, right? Cop car chase.
Exactly. Money flying out of the back the whole time. Lots of damaged police cars going on.
Flipping over.
It's
chaos
awesome.
And mayhem.
Yeah, Billy and Lily shooting out the back while Owen's driving.
We got Grogurts, whatever. Grogu's.
Go-Gurts.
Grogu's, yeah. Grogu's. More gunfights, and then this is when they're plowing through the cemetery. It's all stuff from the trailer, too.
Yep.
Total chaos, right?
Yep. And unlike, I guess they didn't show this in the trailer, thankfully, this heist is unsuccessful. After all is said and done, all the police cars are destroyed. The cemetery is a wasteland.
They made $60.
They got $60.
It all flew out the back.
What a waste.
Yeah. So
meanwhile, at the villain's house, Rehan is there with. This whole scene was, ridiculous.
It was so weird.
There's a guy named Baba Yan, who's the Kanye of the former Soviet bloc.
It's like this kid just dancing, doing like a Russian dance or whatever.
I don't understand.
And Parker's like, what is going on?
Yep. And then Parker finally also understands that her parents are bank robbers, and because Rehan does a whole bit about like, oh no, they're like really good bank robbers. That's the whole point of that. It was just exposition, basically.
Pretty much, right? And then we cut back to the woods, and this is where we got Owen and Billy and Lily kind of figuring out what to do next, right?
Yep. Truck blows up.
Yeah, they torch the armored vehicle, right?
Yep.
And then Owen's like, all right, let's rob the Atlas Bank.
Yep.
And Billy's like, I thought you said that was, we shouldn't do that, blah, blah. And he's like, well,
yeah,
I'll do anything basically to save Parker, right?
Yep. And small amount of character development in the scene too. So Billy's like pissed that he stopped to give someone CPR, and like he's like just mad about the whole situation. Like they need the money, but Lily's like, we can't keep doing this to Parker. We can't run this time. Parker's like made a life for herself. We have to respect that. And that's when Billy's like kind of coming back around again, or starting to come around, I guess. Yeah.
And then we cut to Owen's parents' house, right?
Yep.
And they're watching the news of him getting his ass kicked by the guy.
It's like on the Chiron, it's like Shrek robs a bank.
And it's so funny, like the cousin or whatever, the little girl. Yeah. She's just like, that's definitely Owen. Like it's obviously him.
And his parents are like, no, definitely not.
Definitely not. So then Billy calls them, right?
Yep.
And is like, hey, this is all just, they're setting this whole thing up, basically, right? So Billy calls the parents, right? And he's like, hey, if you want to see your son, blah, 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 you got to be getaway drivers.
Yep.
Meet us at his bank tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Yep.
Because full well knowing that they're going to say, obviously talk to Rooker, and the whole idea is to get him off their trail, right?
Yep. Because Owen's like, don't tell Roger anything. Please.
Whatever you do. Then Owen's parents are with Rooker at that point, right?
Yep, at the bank.
Yeah, at the bank next morning at 10 a.m., right?
Mm-hmm.
And Owen and Parker's parents are at Atlas.
Yep.
So we cut to, this kind of cuts back and forth because of the setup.
Yep. All these scenes are wicked funny too with Richard Kynan, like in general.
Oh god,
just
like the back and forth. There's
so many good bits.
So many good bits. And then you get Phoebe here, who played by was it Lauren Lapkus?
Yep.
Like this whole sequence was just hilarious.
Yeah.
So Owen goes to Alice Bank, and he's like, hey, our bank got robbed. I'm a dummy. Blah, blah, blah. I'd love to see how your vault's set up, whatever. And she's just egging him on.
Yep.
And is very, like, over the top, like, kind of sexual innuendo, like, jokes, whatever.
Yeah. Gobble like a turkey.
Gobble like a turkey. Definitely, like, a ton of improv between the two of them here.
Yep.
He's like, I just want to see the inside of your vault. Like, I can't even describe it because, like, the stuff she was doing was just too funny.
Yep.
But she's just like ripping on him too. Like,
Yep.
You're an idiot.
Yep.
And it basically gets down and opens up the vault, right?
Yep.
We cut back to Owen's bank, and the parents are out in the car with Rooker in the back seat, and his buddy from the bank there, security guard, sees them.
Yep.
He's like, oh shit, is that Owen's parents?
Hey, is that a cop in your backseat? I'm not a cop. I'm a special agent.
Kind of same thing.
Yeah.
So they're going back and forth, and he's just being loud, and he's like, what? Someone's going to rob my bank? Because like the parents say it.
Yeah.
And then Rooker has... Rooker has a moment. He's like, oh, wait a second. There's nothing you... Yeah,
exactly.
He has like he figures out it's all set up, right? Because like the parents were saying stuff that they shouldn't be saying. I told you not to say this.
Yep, exactly. And they're desperate, so he knows they're going to Atlas Reserve, which is like the securest bank in town.
Absolutely.
And so the signal apparently to rob the bank, we cut to the actual bank.
Yeah, back to Atlas.
Yeah, is the car alarm.
Which, come on.
Ridiculous. So Owen's inside with Lauren Lapkus.
Yep.
Setting off the car alarm.
She's still being absolutely hilarious, by the way. Every step of the way, she's just like making these jokes and ripping on him. It's pretty funny.
Yep. And this is when the Ghost Bandits walk in, right?
Yep. Parents come in. There's some action going on, kicking some security guys' butts.
Yep.
They're shooting at the cameras.
Yep. Owen's like, I'm a coward, and then goes in the vault and shuts the door.
Yes.
Which is how he makes his great getaway in a second.
Yep. And then we cut back to the parents and this whole sequence too. They're in the car, like, so Rooker's like, all right, let's drive. You know, he's like, he wanted to take the car.
Yep.
And Richard Kine's like, no, you know how long it took me to get the settings for the seat, right? And he's driving real slow, not even going to speed limit, whatever.
Yep.
There's a pretty funny back and forth, and then the funny bit about Dan Marino comes back.
Yeah, because Roger also met Dan Marino at the orgy.
And Richard Kine's like, oh, I was in the car. It's too good. And then this is all going down, and Owen sneaks out, right?
Yep, the emergency escape hatch from the vault.
Right, we learned that. He's got all the cash money, whatever, and he goes in the alley, and who shows up to help out?
Cousin RJ.
That's right, in the ambulance. Mm-hmm. Great getaway.
Yep. It's like, I got morphine in the back if you want a little drip. All right, let's look at a party.
Yep. And then we cut to a warehouse, right? We're in a warehouse, and this is like the meat spot, right? This is kind of things we're finalizing here. We get a shot from the trailer. Remember that scene in the trailer where it was like 3 people in the back of a limo, and one woman in the middle was like dressed in a wedding dress.
Yep.
I was like, I have no idea who this is. And it's Parker, and she looks completely different.
Yes.
And there's actually a funny bit of this whole thing is pretty funny too.
Yeah. They do, there is a quick setup that Billy and Lily are in their actual car, and they're the ones leading the cops away from the scene, right?
Yep. Yeah. That's the whole setup, right?
Yep.
So we cut to the warehouse. Owen shows up in the ambulance with his cousin, right?
Yep.
He's got the bags of money. Our villain here, Rehan, she comes out with her 2 bodyguards.
Yep.
And
she's impressed.
And Parker, she's like, I'm impressed, right?
However,
and there is a funny bit about how like Parker's like, I feel like I'm going to a wedding to like Machine Gun Kelly or whatever.
Yeah, I don't even remember anymore.
It was pretty funny though. So he shows up with the cash, right? Mm-hmm. And he drops it off. He's like, hey, send Parker over or whatever. We're all done here. And she's like, no, you're an idiot. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill both of you, right?
Yep.
And then he's got a gun, right?
Yep.
He's pulled a gun, and the water gun bit comes back, right?
Yep.
And he sees like some like water condensation on the gun.
Yep.
He's like, they gave me a water gun again?
Yep.
And like it just goes off, and he just headshots one of the goons on the, on the left. Yep. And the other guy's about to turn and shoot him, and he just like gets a shoulder shot on him, and the guy like turns his gun and blasts the villain lady in the head.
It's the perfect crime.
It was, I was like, this is pretty funny.
Inadvertently murders 3 people.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
It's very funny.
And then we kind of wrap things up a little bit, right?
Yep.
Because, so Billy and Lily, they show up, right?
Yep.
And
Parker's
they're like,
have you been lying to me my whole life?
Yep.
Are you bank robbers, actually?
Yep.
And they're like, yep.
Yeah, we are.
And this is when Billy admits that he's grown fond of Owen, and like, everyone's come around on him now.
They're accepting of him.
Exactly. Yep. Everybody kisses everybody else. And then, Owen escapes in the ambulance back to the bank.
Right. He takes the money, throws it back in the ambulance. They go back. He goes back to Atlas Bank, right?
Yep, exactly.
And then we have
the cops show up.
Yeah, so we're back.
Roger and team.
Yep. Well, and so at the warehouse we have Roger and team. They show up and they finally I finally caught you, whatever, right?
Billy and Lily are done.
Yep, that's it. We cut back to Atlas Bank.
Yep.
And we got Phoebe here. She's opened up the vault with 2 cops, right? And Owen's back inside the vault because he knows how to get in there.
Is the danger over?
Yeah. So he's covered, right?
Yep.
So he's good.
It all worked out.
Yeah. And then we cut to the wedding party.
That's right. Wrap it up neatly.
Everyone's happy here, right?
Yep.
Everyone's there. All the characters are there. Everyone's here, right?
Yep.
Nice happy ending. Nice wrap it up. And then Parker's parents show up.
Yep.
In cuffs.
Yep.
With Rooker.
And
they're like, we made a deal. So.
Yeah, they get a dance and a slice of cake, which is like.
Yeah. I mean.
I don't understand. This is so stupid.
Yeah, this is whatever.
This is when it gets stupid.
It's like, all right, this is just silly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And Rooker's like, oh, yeah, we made a deal. And apparently they found.
Oh, they got Cheryl back for him, too, because they met her at some other thing or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Gary's the DJ.
Yep.
Kind of funny, right? Everyone's getting pregnant tonight.
That's right.
And then everyone dances. We just have a dance party to end it.
Yeah.
It's very Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
The end of Return of the Jedi. Everyone just dances, right?
Yep, exactly. We do get a quick acknowledgement from the woman, one of the friends of the bank. It's like, he held me at gunpoint. This shit's really fucked up.
And here we are now, and everyone's dancing. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, and that's basically when they're like, credits roll.
And that was it. The end. I was like, that's pretty funny.
Yep.
And then we cut to the credits, and there's a little bit of a short scene that's,
why'd you include this?
Why did I include this?
Set up a sequel, perhaps?
Yeah, like, right. So they basically, it's Owen. He's like sneaks him a slice of pie, and he's like, oh, there's a paperclip in there, so you can blah blah blah. And they're like, yeah, we get it.
Actually, I hope there's a sequel.
I hope so too.
Yeah, because Pierce Brosnan's like ends the movie. He's like, game on. It's like the last line.
Outlaws 2.
Yep.
Family crime.
Yep. Time to escape prison and rob some more banks.
Outlaws 2. The family business. There you go.
It.
Done. There's your title.
Yeah.
Happening. That's it. That's the movie.
And then Blink-182 over the credit. This is the perfect movie.
Like, what? It's
the perfect movie.
The perfect movie.
They said it didn't exist.
We found it.
Shit.
Whew. That's it.
I mean,
we did it.
Yeah. Do we have to ameliorate it? I feel like we liked this movie.
I don't know. I don't think we like. All right, the middle slogs a bit, but not much. It's only an hour and 37 minutes, so time is great.
Yeah.
A lot of funny bits to it.
Yeah.
Maybe more Lauren Lapkus. I don't know, but she had so much.
You're right. Like more Lauren Lapkus, even more Richard Kind.
Yep, more Richard Kind and Julie Hagerty. Like definitely, like more of them. Like more of the parents just doing stuff.
Yep.
Because then you could see, a sequel. Then you get the parents more involved, and then you get Pierce Brosnan, Barkin, and Richard Kind and Julie Hagerty. Like
this is going to be maybe a new Meet the Parents.
So maybe that's what we're ameliorating about the sequel, right?
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, Meet the Parents, right?
And apparently Adam Devine, not credited as a writer here, but like allegedly he had this idea for this movie.
Okay.
I was like saw an interview somewhere, and basically he was like, "Oh, you know what would be funny? Like this.
What
thing?"
if?
Yeah, like very very high level scenario. Like the movie's based on wordplay.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, Outlaws. And he was like, I was hoping that somebody hadn't started writing it yet, and then they hadn't, so I was like, oh, do it now.
Do it now. I don't know. I mean, it's completely predictable, which is fine, though.
Yeah.
I don't have any problems with that.
Gets the job done.
But it was funny. I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it.
Same.
Shit. We're not ameliorating then? There's nothing to fix?
I guess not, yeah.
I mean, there's got to be something. Maybe... But the problem is like you're only ameliorating if the trailer and our expectations of it were like wildly off. But it's like you watch the trailer and you know Adam Devine, you know what you're gonna get.
Right.
It's gonna be stupid humor, goofy.
Turn it into Dante's Peak at the end.
Sure. Oh, that's right. That's right. I think when we prognosticated,
Lavalantula.
Yeah, Lavalantula. There's a volcano because Dante's Peak.
That's right.
Huh. All right. Well, I don't know.
So, I guess if they made that movie, that's one way to make it better.
Yeah, I mean, of course, whatever we say is definitely a better thing, but this was fun.
Yeah.
I actually, I'm going to throw it out there. We usually say, like, hey, don't watch this movie. Go for a hike. Go for a walk.
Yeah.
Do some exercise.
Sure. Hug your loved ones.
Hug your loved ones. Maybe go visit some elderly folks because they're lonely.
Yeah, read them a story.
Read them a story or something. This one, I'm like, you know what? Skip all that. Skip all that stuff for other people.
Watch this movie.
Watch the movie.
It was funny.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like at this point we definitely ruined some of the jokes, but we tried not to ruin all of them.
Yeah, we skipped all. I mean, we didn't get into them because like it's hard to describe jokes and then it come off as being funny. Cause that's
and the delivery's half of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's it.
Great movie. What a weird episode.
So now, I mean, for our standards, great movie.
Yeah.
It's no Oppenheimer, but, you know.
I'm glad this is the one that we did out at the lake house, because
right?
It was like, it's a very special episode all around. Russ and Jared liked the movie, and
did
it in person, and
here we are.
Right.
And now we're going to go get drunk and have some hot dogs.
That's right.
All right. So thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with a new movie. In the meantime, follow us on Instagram. It's This Meets That. ITMT Pod on Twitter. Subscribe wherever you're listening, and, you know, share with some friends.
Yeah.
Girls.
Or recommend us to strangers by writing a review. 5 stars would be nice. Maybe a nice comment.
Yep. You can do the same for my book, Host.
That's right.
Go get it. Barnes & Noble, Apple, wherever.
Yeah. Amazon if you really want to.
If you want to give me money through Bezos, go on Amazon.
That's right. Right. Do that. And then send us an email about it. Say all those things. Be like, hey, let us know that you did all of the things we just asked you to do, and we'll send you stuff. We always say we're going to send you stuff. We'll do it.
We'll do it. Don't dare us.
Yep. And if you forgot everything that we just said, just go on the website, because you can probably find all that information anyway. Why bother paying attention anymore? You know?
You don't have to.
It's on the internet.
Second screen it. Come on.
It's thismeetsthat.com. Check it out.